Is this really the end of World of Warcraft? Father, is it over? The final stand of World of Warcraft by Nixxiom. Yo, let's have a look at this.
The problem with Blizzard Entertainment is they really struggle to make a good game anymore. Don't you guys think? Overwatch 2 is just a copy-paste of the original game. Diablo Immortal is a complete dumpster fire with its microtransactions allowing you to quite...
Finally someone that thinks the same way as I do. Overwatch 2 is copy-paste Overwatch 1. Like, I had a look at the game when they showed some footage of Overwatch 2 gameplay, and it felt more like an Overwatch expansion than an Overwatch 2. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. But to me, Overwatch 2 feels like the expansion of Overwatch and not an Overwatch 2. It should have just been an expansion in my opinion.
Really pay to win the game. World of Warcraft has been a joke for some time now, and overall the mood in the community is that Blizzard has just completely lost their touch. And if nothing else, they certainly have lost their touch with connecting with their audience. You guys, me, and all of us.
Sadly,
many of you sitting here are probably ready to comment, or have already left a comment, that WoW is a dead game. Move on. It's over. But I wouldn't say that just yet. In fact, I would say that we who remain, those of us holding on to the last shreds of hope,
are making the game great.
On the precipice of World of Warcraft's final stand. But before we get into this video and what the possible future and the end of this game is going to look like, we have to thank today's sponsor. This video was sponsored by Bloodline, Heroes of Lithis.
Of course, our sponsor can't be missing.
Card-based mobile RPG game set within a rich fantasy universe of orcs, elves,
you know, it's like interesting, and we can see this here also in the sponsorship here that Nixxiom has by this game. Like, a lot of games were inspired that are coming out these days by World of Warcraft. Even if you look at like MMOs these days, like new MMOs that are being developed, they are taking a heavy inspiration from World of Warcraft. Even the developers of Final Fantasy XIV said they were inspired, a portion of their game, by World of Warcraft. So you can see this. I mean, look at freaking Lalafelds. They are basically like gnomes, right? Or something like that. So yeah, World of Warcraft has been an inspiration for like the whole gaming industry, basically. And by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content.
Lycans and demons, then my friends, this game may just be for you.
Look, there's a warning even.
Click the link down below in the description and prepare yourself, because welcome to Bloodline, Heroes of Lithis, featuring beautiful 3D graphics, action-packed gameplay, fast-paced combat, easy-to-use controls, and a unique air system. Collect a large variety of champions as you play the game. Make them more powerful over time, and then marry some of them together, combining their traits and skills through Bloodline's legacy system to create new champions, ready to be raised and prepared for the fires of Bloodline's rich world. And with your roster of champions now in hand, embark on this grand adventure to become the leader of the City of Light, the High Guardian in the world of Lithis. This game has just been released to the public, so if you would like to check it out, again, click the link down below in the description or scan the QR code on your screen right now. And if you decide to delve into the adventures of Bloodline, why not use my promo code BLDHOL1 to get you started with a champion token, 100,000 gold, and 100 free diamonds. Whether you're a fan of collecting heroes, legacy systems and video games, action-packed combat, or just managing your own population in a fantasy universe, Bloodline Heroes of Lithis has much to offer to anybody who is ready to check out a new and epic mobile adventure. I remember being a young Nixxiom, laying in bed many days, thinking about what the end of World of Warcraft might look like. I loved WoW, the universe, the lore, raiding with my friends, role-playing, doing PvP, all of it. The game just felt so perfect with its community, full of inside jokes, caring developers, and future expansions to always look forward to. I remember wondering how it would all end. Would I move on and just grow bored of Azeroth, or...
You know why I think it was so successful and so good at the beginning of the release, like World of Warcraft back in the day from 2004 to even like 2011 and such? It was because not only was the team a young team with a vision, because that's how everyone that becomes like big or famous, you can see this even in the industry when it comes to like some singers, like some people, they start their career off very, very successfully, especially in like the music industry or something, because like people, they have some kind of like vision, they have like a big dream, and they really want to strive towards that dream, that success, right? And the same is with like gaming companies, those that produced and made World of Warcraft back in the day. There's only a handful, maybe not even a handful of developers still in Blizzard now that are working on World of Warcraft that were around back in the day. Like a lot of people, they already left the company that were those young people with a vision, right? So a lot has changed, and now also we have to also take this into account, that now Blizzard has a very comfortable position, right? Like they have the finances now, they are big, they made billions of dollars and stuff, right? So they are doing really, really well now. And at the beginning they didn't do so well because they had to start, and then they had to put everything, they had all their energy into it, and they had the motivation when they saw the first numbers go up, right? And now if that is the issue with with success, like with individuals and with companies. The moment you become successful, like a lot of people, and that's an unfortunate truth, is they become comfortable with their position. They're now at a high position, they made good money, and now they become a little bit kind of like lazy, too comfortable. They care less about like smaller impacts and stuff. But if you are new into the industry and you had like your first successful expansion or game, you're way more careful and you analyze everything, because you're still not so stable financially, right? So that's also one of the reasons why I believe like it was so good, and because it was something new.
Would the game ultimately reach its end on its own?
It's always the
And
best
if so,
example.
how?
It was really good at
I
the
always
beginning.
assumed it would be at the hands of another MMO, perhaps a Star Wars MMORPG, if I had to guess at the time. Never would I have imagined that World of Warcraft's death would come at the hands of the very company that created it. Like a child, Blizzard seemed to nurture this game, its universe and community, so the idea of the company neglecting something that brought to them so much success seemed far-fetched and ridiculous. And yet here we are, facing the reality that World of Warcraft might just be at its end. Dragonflight is on the horizon for launch this year, according to the recent announcements. Turns out the video I made recently on the release date potentially being leaked was wrong, so don't crucify me in the comments section over that. And we also have Wrath of the Lich King releasing soon, which many classic players have said will be their final expansion. Let's be honest, not too many people care about World of Warcraft past the death of everybody's favorite Warcraft 3 character, Arthas Menethil, the Lich King. So as you can see, we're in a little bit of a situation here. Shadowlands was a terrible expansion.
You know what was one of the most terrible parts for me personally in Shadowlands? This was the death of Arthur's soul, basically, that was freaking forged into the blade that was given to Anduin and turned him into something like a Death Knight, right? Like, what did they do with Arthas? Couldn't they have had like a better story for him? Like maybe he appears in Shadowlands and want to redeem himself, and maybe he sacrifices himself to save us or something. Like that could have been a way better plan for Arthas. Like seriously, like don't you guys think it would have been so cool if in the Shadowlands we are like as a player almost dying, and then Arthas like sacrifices himself to save us, and that's his kind of redemption or something? Or maybe he wants to maybe go on a good mission in the Shadowlands or something. Like, what was this? It was so weird with Arthas. Arthas' soul being used to forge a blade, and then it just vaporizes, just disappears. What the heck?
And that drove away
I could have done
so
a better
many from
writing
World
job.
of Warcraft to games like Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, and other games. And if Dragonflight isn't a decent expansion full of fun and flavor to draw back in that lost population and re-hook them to the adventures of Azeroth, then World of Warcraft retail is going to officially be sunk. Now sure, there's still going to be people that are going to play it, but it will be nowhere near what it used to be in the past, or even nowhere near where it was over the past few years in terms of population. Legion will have been retail WoW's last big boom. Now for what it's worth, I do think Dragonflight could be a good expansion. Maybe. It has a relatively simple, down-to-earth and grounded story about going to a mysterious dragon island to fight classic World of Warcraft enemies we know and love.
Yeah.
Centaur make an appearance. We see the Tuskar from Wrath of the Lich King. And of course, we're probably going to be killing a lot of evil dragons, I would expect.
I didn't expect no less. Nixxiom loves Tuskar. He wants to play one. He keeps saying that each time on his streams and everywhere. And that's a nice shirt. I bet you've never even played vanilla. I'm like wondering how many of you just recently discovered World of Warcraft and are new players. Let me know in the comment section. I'm actually curious if still a lot of new players are even coming to WoW. Because I feel like the player base is getting older and older and there's like not so much fresh blood basically, right? Like new blood, not so much, I think. Like there's still new players coming, but maybe the number is not as crazy. So if you are a new World of Warcraft player, please let me know in the comment section. I'm really curious and let me know when you started the game.
Gonna be killing a lot of evil dragons, I would expect. The story seems simple, one of exploration, adventure, and dragon riding and
I like
slaying.
simple.
Who doesn't love a good story about going to kill a dragon? Anyone here a fan of The Hobbit by chance? Can't wait for Amazon to ruin Lord of the Rings. It's gonna be great.
Oh
Blizzard
yeah, the series
seems to be focusing on what works with Dragonflight. A simple storyline, classic fantasy, no real major changes or game-breaking ideas like garrisons. And what ideas they do have, they've stolen from other games like Guild Wars 2.
Oh
AKA
yeah, the flying,
dragon
right?
flying. And as we all know, Blizzard is at their best when they are stealing ideas from other companies.
Even Asmongold,
Isn't
he
that
can.
right, Games Workshop, Team Fortress 2, and you guys get the idea. But guys, Dragonflight is gonna have a lot to salvage. And let's be real, Shadowlands storytelling was complete ass, boring, and forgettable. And so Dragonflight needs to deliver something epic and memorable. Where Shadowlands had repetitive and dull features like Torghast, Dragonflight's content will need to be engaging and worth boasting over. And lastly, where Shadowlands added little in terms of creativity to World of Warcraft, Dragonflight's patch cycle will need to add more and more and more to the game to really entice players to keep playing, committing to the expansion, and having fun. And now we have Wrath of the Lich King on the other hand, and that's a whole other story. Obviously, Wrath is considered World of Warcraft in its prime by many people across the globe.
Yep.
So it's only natural we're gonna see a boom in Classic WoW's population size once the Wrath servers go live. Veteran players will return, committed Classic players will jump ship from TBC,
PvP
people who
was
never
really
played
good
Wrath
there
will
too.
check it out. Overall, the release should be successful. Death Knights, Northrend, the Lich King. There's a lot to look forward to. Classic fans are even getting a treat of Blizzard listening to the feedback over the past few years.
I think Wrath of the Lich King, if like really Dragonflight sucks, and I've already said this before, I will go full-time Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Like seriously, what I will do if I'm not happy with Dragonflight and I'm not having fun or I think the story sucks, I'm just going to purely get into WoW Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I will play it for a bit, maybe 2 years or 3 years, and then maybe I'm looking for like a new game to really get into. And let's see, like I still have hopes for Dragonflight because after all, like Microsoft invested so much money into getting Blizzard and owning it. So I don't think they would let them go downhill, right? Like would they really want the games that they have, like the franchises, to die? I think Microsoft would be very careful and strict with that because otherwise they wasted their investment and it was like a bad deal basically, right? So I don't think they will do that. I mean, they did fix Minecraft, like they made Minecraft even more popular and stuff. Like they took a game, a sandbox game basically, and they just keep adding more and more cool stuff to it, and people play it of all ages and stuff. It's very successful. And I have the same hopes for freaking World of Warcraft, that they can also do something like with Minecraft, where they constantly release some cool updates, some new features to the game. Maybe in the future we get even housing in World of Warcraft, what a lot of players have asked for many years. But let's see. I am still optimistic, so yeah.
Deciding to keep LFD out of Wrath of the Lich King, despite its introduction into the game during this time. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. No more LFG spam, Naxxramas is apparently getting buffed. We are going to see an entirely new Wrath of the Lich King that is sure to win the hearts of many players worldwide.
Most likely.
At least hopefully. But what happens next? Will Classic WoW just die after Wrath? Well, in my recent video, Classic Plus could be the future of World of Warcraft, I went over exactly what I feel and what many people feel needs to be done in order to keep the Classic population alive and healthy after Wrath's release, and hopefully its success. If you'd like to check out that video, you can just click right up here. Because judging by all the positive praise that video received, I think you're going to enjoy it. At least, I think you'll enjoy what I and so many of us have suggested in regards to a future Classic Plus experience. So in conclusion, if Dragonflight fails to make an impact in the souls of potential World of Warcraft players worldwide, retail WoW is over. No king rules forever, and WoW will officially just slowly trickle down into oblivion. Maybe the expansion
just like Garros
could save the game.
Times change.
Dragonflight goes down as a terrible expansion. If the expansion fails, I think what funding will go into the next expansion, especially after Shadowlands, I don't think the funding is going to be there for another big expansion after Dragonflight, but I don't know. And there's Wrath of the Lich King, and yeah, sure, Wrath will probably be a big success for classic World of Warcraft. And
I wouldn't be surprised if
it's
going to be bigger than Dragonflight.
Most of us don't really want to play Cataclysm, or Warlords of Draenor, Battle for Azeroth, and all that stuff. So it's either keep the expansions coming out, or commit maybe to the funding and the idea of making a completely overhauled Classic Plus experience, giving to us updated new feature-filled Classic stuff that will blow the minds of even those of us who have played through Classic multiple times. I mean, what else are they going to do? Either way, all I'm really trying to say is this, guys. This is perhaps the last breath of World of Warcraft. Everything hinges on whether or not Dragonflight delivers and what happens after Wrath of the Lich King.
We'll see.
I never thought, laying in my bed all those years ago, that this moment would come. Here it is. I can't even make a proper prediction on what is to come. I can only hope that maybe, just maybe, my favorite game still has a few surprises left in store for us.
Let's hope
Surprises
so.
that will ignite the same wonder in me today the game did all those years ago when I first was adventuring Azeroth, Outland, and Northrend, making a name for myself in this epic fantasy universe I grew to love. Guys, thank you for watching the video. Please give it a like, leave a comment on what you think the future of World of Warcraft might look like. And
I really hope it's gonna be good, but can you mess up a story that simple? This is something I'm worried about. Like, I don't know. Okay, the new talent system. I'm a big fan of the new talent system, like the way they make those talent trees and all that. Like, I like the idea. I think this is going to be very, very cool, and you can have a lot of like customized builds, right? Like, hey, I want to be a bit tankier. I want to be a DPS that can heal also a little bit and stuff. I feel like people are going to have more build options. Hopefully, that's what I'm seeing right now, right? And story-wise, I think it's way harder to mess up a more simple plot and a more simple story than a complex one. I mean, if you look at Shadowlands, this was crazy complex. It has to do with the Lich King's helm that was freaking destroyed. It opened the sky to the afterworld, and there are like so many different zones. If a person dies, he either goes to this or that realm and this and that. And then you have the jailer, and the jailer is in fact a freaking cyborg puppet or whatever, and he just has a different skin when he's alive. And the first ones, like there were a lot of complex things added into the story, right? So people were confused. There were just so many puzzles. So from the questing aspect, it felt weird. Torghast felt like Chorghast, literally. So it was something you felt like you have to do over and over again. And yeah, they nerfed it down. It's now not as grindy anymore, but it's still somewhat grindy. It was very horrible at the beginning. But like the whole way they went about the expansion was a total failure. Most of the people would agree on, right? So let's hope Dragonflight will be better. I'm optimistic. I think there is a chance that it can be a good expansion. Also because it takes place on Azeroth. It has dragons in it and stuff. It's something that people prefer, and some of the zones remind me of Wrath of the Lich King, what is really, really cool. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about Dragonflight. I still have my hopes, also by the fact that Microsoft just bought Blizzard, so I don't think they want to see them go downhill, right? So yeah, but let's see. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time.